Again, where Wales haven't actually won at home in the tournament since 2019. Meanwhile, Scotland, they did win this fixture on the reverse in Scotland last year. So already one game completed then in round two. Victory once again for France, beating Ireland 40 points to 5. That means that France have now 2 victories to their name. So Les Bleus at the top there, 2 games from 2. Meanwhile, Ireland still hunting for their first victory. Let's take a look at the 2 sides going head-to-head today. It's pretty even between them both, but just at the moment, Wales edging it with more games won than Scotland. But could that start to change in the other direction? This is the head-to-head when they've met in Wales itself. You can see there the Welsh 8 wins, Scotland 15. Well, the weather conditions today in Cardiff, it's been a little bit chilly, but the sun is shining. It's around 9 degrees, a slight wind, but of course being played out on the artificial pitch. Once again, the sun is shining on the Women's Six Nations. The party has now arrived in Cardiff for Wales against Scotland, easily the most hotly anticipated clash of round 2. Well, Scotland, they are the side keen to ruin any kind of Welsh momentum and were, of course, winners in this fixture last year. They're led out today by hooker Lana Skeldon. Special moment for her, winning her 50th cap. Skeldon racing Hoyk. She made her debut 11 years ago against the Dutch. She is one of the most talented hookers you'll ever see, a veteran of the set piece, but also very handy in the loose. She can also kick at goal if ever required. Here come Wales. A lung-busting and fiery reception from the partisan home crowd. Captain Shuan Lillicrap hopes to lead her side to their first home Six Nations win since 2019. Well, before we get underway, rugby will make its stand against racism and show its support for Ukraine.
Core values of our game. Rugby is united against racism. The Welsh Rugby Union and Scottish Rugby stand together in solidarity with Ukraine and its people. We strongly condemn the invasion, and our thoughts are with those affected by the crisis. Please, can you show your support during a period of applause?
Now we have the anthems, starting with Flower of Scotland. next we have Land of My Fathers. Right then, let's take a look at the teams. First of all, Wales unchanged from last weekend's victory over Ireland. Alicia Bitchers, the player of the round, wears 6 once again, with Bristol teammate Natalia John packing down in the second row. Meanwhile, in the backs, it's a 4-3 split of Bristol and Gloucester Hartpury players. One of the latter, centre Hannah John, back for more, wearing 13 after scoring one of the most memorable tries in Welsh history just 7 days earlier. As for Scotland, head coach Brian Eason, well, he has made 4 changes. In the forwards, Harlequins Sarah Bonner returns from RAF duty to slot straight back into the second row, while Stirling County's Evie Gallagher, she comes in to win her 9th cap on the open side flank. In the backs, a debut for big as Emma Orr at 13, while Edinburgh University's Shona Campbell is promoted to the starting 15 after a fiery performance off the bench last week. As for the replacements, well, you can't hide the anticipation surrounding the chance that 18-year-old Cecilia Tuipulotu might just get a bit more game time for Wales today. Well, Philippa Tuttiett alongside me here. When was the last time you saw the appetite for a women's international like this in Cardiff?
Good afternoon. Well, I have to be honest, I don't think I ever have, and the ticket sales are testament to that. A record-breaking crowd here at the Arms Park just goes to show if you put the women's competition in its separate window, the opportunity for people to come along and support is now there. But also it's certainly helped by the fact that Wales had that brilliant win last week, but can they back it up? That's the questions everyone's asking.
Our referee today is Ireland's Joy Neville, fresh from taking proceedings last week when Scotland were taking on England in Edinburgh.
Okay.
Helena Snowsill to get us underway. And the ball flies through the Cardiff sky to land for Scotland. It's Thompson who clears down the far side.
Backwards.
Just a little bit of whitewash, far enough away from the ball not to be kissed. Kira Bevan there with the distribution. And a strong Scottish defensive line holds.
Stop, Brett, touch,
Snowsill with a little touch over the top.
touch, hold on.
Here comes Campbell. She really was a tricky customer and has fully earned her start today. Coming off the bench against England last week. A tough outing for Scotland, that one, but plenty of heart to take from it as well. Skeldon. Nelson. Thompson. Really strong run from Thompson. Maxwell. Belisle. Maxwell. Nelson. Skeldon, always hungry for work, hiding on shoulders, looking to feed her team. out to the far side. Soft hands there, even the captain getting involved. It's Gaffney.
Advantage. Off your feet, number 7.
Well, it's penalty advantage then to Scotland. An opportunity as they've been putting all those phases together. Crossfield kick comes in, not quite the execution they'd have wanted. What can Rona Lloyd do with it?
Thank you.
Huge hit going in there on Conkle,
No
but they'll
advantage,
come back
no
for the penalty.
advantage.
Really good early pressure there from Scotland. Straight from the kick-off, they've managed to keep Wales pinned in
Number
their
7.
half. Unfortunately, Kayleigh Powell
Offside,
not
never through
able
the
to
gate,
clearly
and off feet.
field that ball, just kissed the whitewash there, and then Eleanor Snowsill not getting a clear kick away. Unfortunately, just invited Scotland to build up that phase, build up that territory, and have got the penalty advantage for it.
Well, no interest from Scotland to look at the post. They want to go down into that corner. And Scotland spend a lot of time in the 22 attacking
Girls, who's number 1?
when they took on England. Couldn't take away as
in the
many
front.
points as they'd
your
like,
mark.
but they're used to being here.
You're in charge of the backlifters there. Stay right on me.
On the occasion of her 50th cap then, Lana Skeldon gets the ball in cleanly, taken by Sarah
Ball.
Bonner, returning to the starting lineup after having to miss last week.
Back here. To the mark.
Strong from Scotland, the ball's still moving. It's Skeldon who's got it, that's got legs. It's over! Skeldon scores!
Can't hear you.
Born and bred in Hoyt. They'll be watching up in the clubhouse and they will be loving that.
Best possible start for Scotland there, straight from the kick-off, as I mentioned. They just applied that pressure, pinned Wales down in their half. As you mentioned, that game last round against England, Scotland had so many opportunities, so much territory, but they weren't clinical with it. So that's going to please the Scottish management there. Little bit of time in the 22, and they've managed to force something from it. Just testing that physical battle there between the Welsh forwards and the Scottish forwards. Really lovely peel there off the back from Lana Skeldon.
In the build-up to this fixture, the Wales head coach, Johan Cunningham, said he had to keep his players' feet on the floor. If they weren't on the floor already, that will have done the job. Vice-captain Helen Nelson taking on the kicking duties. What a fantastic start then for Scotland in this Women's Six Nations clash. Already 7 points on the scoreboard and scoring the kind of try that perhaps we would have been expecting more from Wales.
Absolutely, last round Wales line out more, was a real attacking weapon, so they've just got a taste of their own medicine there.
Snowsill with the restart. Thompson. Conkle. Jade Conkle herself, the Harlequins number 8.
Don't hold her in there.
Firefighter by trade with the London Fire Brigade. Right boot comes in from Nelson.
Okay.
Is this going to be our first chance to see Wales on the attack? Joyce. They know to track her down. You could just see there Emma Orr on debut. But it's a penalty for Scotland.
First arriving player.
Really good by the Welsh backs there to field that ball and get the ball into the hands of Jasmine Joyce rather than looking to kick it back. However, people have got to get on her shoulders because she is going to be marked up. Scotland will be fully aware of the threat that Jasmine Joyce holds. So support players need to be with her, making sure if she does get into contact, they can get that ball back.
It was very noticeable there that Jazz Joyce was being hunted down very quickly. They don't want to give her any space.
No, absolutely not. And a real good confidence booster there for Emma Orr, getting in that tackle on probably one of the most scary players to try and tackle in Jasmine Joyce. So a bit of a boost for her in that new position at 13.
On me.
Mr. Hooker Skeldon gets it in. Nice take by Wales. John
Ball is up.
took the steal in the air.
Forward pass. Sorry.
Well, they're going to reset then this one with a scrum. Nice take in the air by Natalia John. They read that line out well, and both of these two sides, their set piece has improved.
Yeah, it certainly has. It was really an attacking weapon of old of Wales, the old line out, but it's gone astray the past 2 years, so it was really good last week to see it shore up. Some talented individuals in there, bolstered by the likes of Karis Phillips, as you see there with the scrum hat coming in. Her darts on the line out, brilliant.
Crouch!
Rachel Malcolm, the Scotland skipper there, packing down.
Both on this side pre-engaged. Girls, I've asked for a clear gap for both of you.
Joy Neville from Ireland, former Irish player, won the Six Nations in her time as well. You must have played against her, Phil.
Certainly have, unfortunately. I don't know whether you call it the pleasure of tackling her. She was a very, very strong athlete.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
You could just see the little nudge there on the Welsh side before the ball was in.
Number 3.
The warning there against Cerys Hale. She was right in front of Joy Neville. That was an easy penalty for her to give, and that's surprising because Wales' discipline last week against Ireland was fantastic.
It was absolutely incredible. Only 5 penalties in the entire game, and when you consider it was such a tight international match to only give away 5 pens, and crucially none of them in their own 22. So yeah, potentially, you know, when Johan Cohen said about trying to keep players' feet on the ground, maybe those nerves are just telling in these opening exchanges.
8.
Skeldon goes towards the front. They do manage to get their woman down. It was Bonner who went up to take it. It's been recycled already.
Side entry.
Oh, and once again, another advantage for Scotland. They'll be sniffing out that try line once again. This is a free shot for them. They can try something. Maxwell looks up. There's Nelson, crossfield kick. Who's waiting? Gaffney's there. Ends up knocking on the ball. They'll come back.
Knock on.
Nice ambition from Scotland.
Yeah, it's pretty much what you see most times now. You get that penalty advantage. If you're in the 22, it's worth going for that crossfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And this is quite crucial there. You just see Joy Neville, referee, referring to the fact that there are too many penalties now occurring in the 22. You usually see that warning given before a card.
Straight up,
and it's
straight
very
down.
early in the game to be thinking about a card.
In the line out. Bring her straight down, please. Straight up, straight out.
So Scotland going for another line out.
Right on the line.
That's where
Right
the
on the
first
line.
try came from. It was on the other side of the field. Can they do it on the near side as well?
Okay, 8. Stay. Unfair. Unfair contest. Catching it on the outside. Option.
Well, they were told there, they were warned Scotland before they actually went into the line out. Joy Neville very clear with her messaging there. And so we get a scrum where all eyes will once again be on the Welsh tight head, Cerys Hale.
So key for Wales to exit now. Need a solid platform. Give the opportunity to El Snow still there, just in behind the scrum to try and get the best angle on that kick.
You've hinged, you're too low.
Cerys Hale's been in the spotlight this week in the media. News from her that she's becoming the women's performance lead at the Dragons. Been a very popular decision.
Crouch!
Let's go, Cerys, all day. Say!
Bind!
Night, Cerys!
Set!
Well, this scrum is away. It's better than the last few we've seen, and we've got a good contest here. Gathered at the base, taken by the captain, Lillicrap.
Stay on.
Hale takes it into contact. Bevan assessing options.
Use it, 9.
Butchers.
Release! Blue! Take a step, please. Use
Wales
it,
protecting
9.
that ball
Stay on
like
side.
a golden egg.
Stop! Red
Bevan
3!
with the box
Stop.
kick. Lloyd waits. Joyce was tracking down there at former GB teammate. Played a lot of sevens together, those two, as we see Shona Campbell go forward. They've got numbers on that far side, Scotland, but a strong Welsh defensive line just starts closing it down. Nelson.
Stay.
Maxwell. Conkle can't get that last pass away to
Taka,
Malcolm.
release. Backwards.
Loose. Scotland still have this. Haven't seen a Wales attack yet down at the other end of the field. It's all been about Scotland. Stolen ball by Wales. It was Alicia Butchers who managed to get that one out. Kira Bevan with the clearance just to give them some territory. Campbell almost teases Jasmine Joyce there.
Tackle, release. Backwards.
Wassel. Supported there by Gallagher, wearing 7. Nelson. Conkle.
Taka.
Big hits going in there. You can feel them. Nelson to the far side. Thompson is there. Gallagher's waiting outside. Stolen once again. Butchers is there. She is everywhere right now. Still Welsh ball, but still inside of their own half. Wales penalty. And an opportunity finally for some territory.
Badly needed territory for Wales. Those turnovers are proving key at the moment. 83% possession to Scotland. They really have had all the possession, all the territory. So important now. Eleanor Snowsill gets a good bit of distance on this. Get the team into the Scottish half.
Eleanor Snowsill, she was actually invited to a Wales under-19s football camp once, such as her skills. She has opted to stick with the rugby though. That was a difficult take, but they've held on to that, Wales, as Lillicrap goes forward. Phillips can't take advantage to Scotland.
2 knock-ons, first and second, yeah? Okay. Time off.
Frustrating there for
I can't
Wales.
hear you,
It
Nikki.
was,
You're gonna
if you're
talk
going to be,
slower,
you know, pernickety about that, that pass
Yeah.
did just cause Keris Phillips to check herself, but I think she would back herself to be able to take that. Good
Okay,
bit of
nice.
pressure, though,
5.
from the Scottish defence. Well
Thank you.
connected, came up
One
with
second.
good urgency.
I don't want to see you being thrown across
There's a little
the
bit
line,
of treatment
okay?
going on to one of the Welsh players now. We're
Keep
keeping an eye on the bench to see if anyone's
when you
warming
go for
up.
the ball, you have to bring him straight back down, okay? Okay, thank you.
Oh, it's the captain, Siwan Lillicrap. We don't know what's happened to her, but we will tell you for free. It will be
By
difficult
both?
to get her off the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
It was that first
Sorry,
carry up off the line out. She had plenty of run up at it, but unfortunately there was no real misdirection behind her, no movement, so it was actually relatively easy
Good.
for the Scottish defence to line her up and put a big
Winded.
shot in on her, which I think she's
Good
still
time.
feeling now.
Well, they've been hosting a girls' rugby festival next door in the Principality stadiums there. A lot of them have now come in to join this record crowd here at the Arms Park.
I need to see
This
along
was the
line from you.
collision.
Along line.
There you see there's a little bit of a pump from Siwan to try and deviate the defence, but it didn't work there, and you've got 2 of the biggest hitters there for Scotland in Jade Conkle and obviously captain Rachel Malcolm, so 2 of the biggest players to run into for Siwan Lillicrap as well.
You see on your screen there
Better,
the
same again.
WRU's performance lead there, Nigel Walker. There you go, few more famous Welsh faces taken in the rugby.
Crouch!
All you.
Bind!
Easy, let's back it.
Set! Hold up.
That's a big push from Wales. Somehow Scotland have held on to it. Thompson sends it down the field. Nice little show there. Bevan. Phillips. That was John.
Off the foot, Cleon.
Snowsill. Jones. Well, the Gloucester Hartbury centre really making a few extra metres out of every run, but it's going to go the way of Scotland.
Holding, first riding player.
A lot of credit has to go there to Evie Gallagher. Only a 9th cap today, but really showing her prowess at the breakdown.
Yeah, they're just picking up on the edges there. The Welsh, as soon as they get into the outside channels, they seem to be a little bit vulnerable at the breakdown, and Scotland is certainly sniffing out any turnovers they can.
Yeah, no problem. I've spoken about them to take the players straight down, okay? Yeah. But time here across.
Well, this was the run from Hannah Jones down into the contact, just taking a lot of Scottish players with her. See, they're bustling over to the top there. Evie Gallagher.
Yeah, Karen Lake just gets caught sort of going on the outside of that ruck rather than centred over the ball to protect it.
Skeldon to the front. Wassell takes. They're not mucking around with this one. Here comes Nelson. Conkle. Maxwell, Nelson, Thompson again.
Take a step, take a step.
Soft hands there by Bonner. Knew to take it into contact, not to do anything too fancy. Belisle. Looking for work, here comes Campbell. Maxwell's got it, but it's really slowed down that Scottish ball. Almost having to do things statically.
Nothing.
Well, it went forward before it got stuck in there. So it's going to be a Welsh scrum. And this does feel a little bit like a flipped game from both sides' perspectives last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much better.
With Wales having loads of territory against Ireland, really pressurised them, forced the errors. It's flip reversal, isn't it now? Round 2, Scotland have come here. They are going to be hunting out that win. It was a tough game against England, and make no doubts about it. A game against Wales, even though it is Wales away, they would still be targeting this as a win.
Let us not forget that these two sides will be playing in the same pool at the World Cup. They're both in Pool A, and it's the very first match of their World Cup campaign. So as much as this is a Six Nations clash, this is also extra bragging rights ahead of that.
There's not enough gap here. I need to see a clear gap, not shoulder to shoulder. I won't be speaking to the side again. Do you understand? Okay.
Joy Neville making her views very clear on what she wants to see.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Bind!
Straight away the decision made that that was a Wales penalty for them.
Number 1. Here you go.
Pack needed that, didn't they? They haven't been given the best impression so far to Joy Neville, the referee. Things have been going against Wales, so that was a really important one.
Need to see a better picture, okay?
I'm sorry?
I need to see a better picture.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time
Here's your
we've
mark.
seen a Wales
Here's your mark.
platform down in that end,
Here's your mark first.
between that 10 and 22 for a while now. This was Snowsill's kick.
Lovely nudge there from Snowsill. And the scary thing is, only a year ago, she was actually thinking of finishing her international career. She wasn't enjoying her rugby, but she got reinvigorated at her time there at Bristol. And she's certainly looking in fine form now.
Karis Phillips manages to find Gwen Crabb.
Stay.
Well, they're right by the crowd on the far side of the Arms Park,
Advantage.
and they're screaming out for it there.
Bind.
Penalty advantage to Wales as well. Lillicrap.
Advantage 9.
Snowsill, crossfield kick. She knows they've got the penalty advantage. Joyce takes it.
Still advantage.
Butchers, Snowsill. Big run coming in by Hale. Snowsill just runs into a little bit of heavy traffic.
No advantage.
And they'll come back for the penalty.
It's a shame they couldn't have made more of that carry then from Karis Hale. She made a good 2 or 3 meters. You would have thought that would have been a quick ruck. Unfortunately, just got slowed down. And then Eleanor Snowsill getting caught, so they go back for the penalty.
Well, there's a little bit of treatment going now onto the Scotland captain, Rachel Malcolm. So let's check in then with the Wales camp. I'm delighted to say we can now speak to the Wales assistant coach, Richard Withen. A very good evening to you. What have you made of this fixture so far? Because Wales haven't had as much of the ball as we saw against Ireland so far.
No, we've been struggling with possession. This is the first bit of territory we've had in the game, and we just need to try and get a foothold in it. Fair play to the Scottish. They've come out quick, and they've had a lot of possession, a lot of territory in our half, and obviously got the early score. But from now, we've got an opportunity to get into their 22 and build some pressure.
Well, you've got a little bit of territory at the moment. We've already seen Scotland scoring tries down at the other end of the field. They're the kind of tries we normally see from Wales. You're not looking to use your super subs, the likes of Donna Rose, too early.
No, that's the reason why we've got 6-2 bench. Those girls will make an impact hopefully in the second half. But now it's about us getting a foothold in this game, and hopefully from this kick we can get into their 22.
And just lastly, what are the messages going onto the pitch at the moment?
Just stay positive, stay with our messages and our process we've had all week. It's early in the game, and we back the girls to put a performance together in this little block now.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Richard Withen there, the Wales assistant coach, as Eleanor Snowsill just dots down into the corner. Best attacking position Wales have had.
Yep, best opportunity as well for us to potentially see that line out maul that we talked about from round 1. That was such a weapon for them.
That was a tough throw there for Phillips, taken nicely by Callender. This is moving well. Phillips still has it. They shift direction. That's still going. Phillips knows she can't get the whole way.
Advantage.
Calm heads then from Wales as they go again. Scotland need to hold their nerve. The Arms Park is in full voice, wheeling Wales over the line.
Advantage offside, number 2.
Nearly there. They think they've got over. Wales score. It's Karis Phillips. Still a conversion to come, but Wales on the scoreboard and fighting back.
Fighting back and just in time. When you start overlapping 20 minutes and you haven't been able to return some points, management might get a bit nervous, but it was all crucial to that kick from Eleanor Snowsill, getting them right down deep into the 22. We saw the initial line-out maul, but actually Scotland did quite well to defend that. They would have done their homework on Wales. They would have known that would have been a strength of theirs. But as you mentioned, it was the calm composure of the forwards to just stick to their processes, pick and go, pick and go. And they come away with a try from it.
Bristol's Kira Bevan lining up the conversion. Kira Bevan was brought up on the same street as the Welsh men's international Josh Adams. And much like Josh Adams, she likes scoring points for Wales. We are now even Stevens at the Arms Park, 7 apiece.
That is a lovely kick from Kira Bevan, straight through the eye. Nice little offload there from Joanne Lillicrap, just going that one out rather than going really tight to the ruck. They just went one out, trying to get maybe a sleeping defender there.
Game on. Worth knowing that Wales are currently ranked 10th in the world, Scotland 9th, so they are very evenly matched. Try scorer Phillips setting this one up.
Using 9. Yes, you are.
Nice take on that far side wing there by Campbell. Conkle, Nelson, Thompson. Great pass by Thompson, manages to get it out to Orr. Orr gets the final pass away, it's Lloyd. Conkle again, she's carrying a lot of ball for Scotland this afternoon. Penalty advantage again then to Scotland. Lost ball still moving, Wassell. Nelson, kick through. Who's going to put a name on it?
No advantage.
Sensible stuff there. As Kaylee Powell just
Number
runs that
12.
one out of trouble.
Yeah, she would have known that the penalty advantage was coming anyway, so there's no point in
Number
really trying to
12,
do anything fancy
hands in the
there,
ruck.
because as soon as she gets her hands on the ball, you know it's going to be coming back to Scotland possession.
Scotland have not shown any interest so far in this fixture of kicking at goal. They are quite happy to just keep dropping this down in the corners.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one because they've had plenty of time there, so actually you need to
I'll give you a
balance
chance
with
to
the
match,
amount of
don't
time
worry,
you're in
okay?
the opposition team's half with sort
I'll
of
give you a chance to
relative
match,
to the amount
okay?
of
No
points
worries.
you're coming away with. And I'd actually say at this moment Scotland are in the negative for that. So I dare say you may see them, especially now moving towards the half-time whistle, being a bit more pragmatic if this doesn't come off and taking points.
Here comes Scotland again. They've already scored one like this on the other side. Skeldon is there. Right over the top there. Alex Callender trying to suffocate things. Nelson then pushes out wide. Unable to be taken cleanly by Orr. Knock on.
Great bit of pressure there from the Welsh defence. Off the back of that now, I'd say if Scotland do get any other chances, any other penalties in that area, they'll be going for the penalty points now.
Well, Emma Orr there on debut for Scotland today. Played a bit of Scotland Sevens, a bit of GB Sevens. Didn't get selected for Tokyo. Brian Easton's been really talking up how well she's been training and deserves this chance. Perhaps the more familiar figure of Hannah Smith on the bench today. It has been a great contest at the scrum so far. Wales do clear that one. Campbell had to leave it, couldn't quite get there. Just shouting her orders there. She had Gaffney and Maxwell. Gaffney still going. Plenty of forwards offering options there. Conkle, the woman, to go on. Belisle. Here comes Nelson again. Lloyd can't take. Well, that's going to be a Wales line out, but you have to say, Phil, you can see what Scotland are doing. They are offering options all over the park.
Yeah, they really are. And, you know, even though they suffered that heavy defeat last round against England, that was one of the positives Brian Easton talked about, was the amount of attacking opportunities they created for themselves. They can certainly get into a good shape, but as we just see there, it's the execution, that last pass to make the most of it.
Rona Lloyd there. Plays her rugby out in France at the moment for their Linas de Stade Bordelais.
Time is on.
The majority of this Scotland squad playing in the Premier 15s. However, the entire Welsh squad playing in the Premier 15s. That's the top league in England. Both the SRU and the WRU have been in discussions with the RFU. Hope you're keeping up with all the abbreviations there. To maybe get a team in there, but that's a penalty for Scotland.
An extra roll denying the contest by the poacher.
We talked about their discipline last week. Only 5 penalties in the entire game. We're 28 minutes in, and they're already up to 6.
Okay, fine, thank you. Thank you.
And Karis Phillips is down there just receiving a little bit of treatment to the shoulder. She's one of the 12 players in the Welsh side given one of the full-time contracts. Of course, there's also 12 players in what they call retainer contracts, which is a bit like semi-professional. But this is the moment where we think she went down and actually hurt herself.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a neck roll there as well from Lana Skeldon, so she does need to be careful. That's the hooker for Scotland, putting her arm around Karis Phillips' neck, but Karis Phillips seems to be shaking it off.
Water off, please. Extra roll.
Both sides are very calm, considering what they are playing in is a very tense environment here at the Arms Park. Keeping their heads, not getting taken away by the occasion.
Yeah, you have to. It's this unusual balance that you have to try and find with heightened awareness, you know, building that intensity, bringing such intense defence, but then equally a calmness and a composure to make the right decisions.
Skeldon, that's a big throw to the back, taken nicely. Now Maxwell, here comes Thompson on the absolute gallop.
Tackle, release.
Up once again, nice pot of forwards in support. Maxwell shuffling it towards the far side of the field. Conkle.
Ball's available, holding her in there, play on.
Wassel. Nelson. Here comes Rachel Malcolm. Nelson again, big pass to Campbell. She's a bit of a show and go. Straight down the throat, though, of Karen Lake. Skeldon. Again, lots of phases here from Scotland. Can they keep holding it until the opportunity comes? Nice back inside there, taken by Gaffney. Here comes Bilal. Loughborough Lightning prop for Scotland. Here's another Loughborough Lightning prop, this time in the form of Bartlett. Wassel. Push to the far side. Is there enough space out there? Gallagher. She's looked so strong on the ball. Wassel again. Look at those phases. 14 now. This is impressive. This is slow ball now for Scotland. They're getting the warning to keep this one going. Belisle. Can the red wall hold?
Ball's up. Hang on.
Losing ground on that last phase. Skeldon. Belisle. Malcolm. The worry here for Scotland is this does feel a little bit like last week where they just couldn't find the way to the line. Skeldon. Oh. She thought about giving the pass away, knew not to do it.
Don't touch Nine, thank you.
Nelson then manages to find Thompson. There's the big pass to Lloyd.
Advantage.
Jazz Joyce waiting. Still playing an advantage as well. Well, Scotland, they're going east to west at the moment. They're going to try something here. It goes up to Lloyd! Try, give it to Lloyd! Oh, it was a shot to nothing, but it means 5 points, and that's everything.
It really was a shot to nothing. I mean, when it went up in the air, I think the players around almost turned to walk back to where the penalty advantage would be given. With some poor fielding in the back play by Wales. You just see here scrum half, Jenny Maxwell putting it over. And it's an ugly bounce. It literally jumps over the two Welsh defenders there. And Rhona Lloyd is there to capitalise. A long series of play there from Scotland, multiple phases. that was partly given by Wales. They weren't challenging in the ruck. They were happy for Scotland to play multiple phases. Now, a team does that because, one, they back their fitness and defence. They believe they can go for as long as they need to. And two, it's usually they are sceptical on the skill set of the opposition. So they were waiting for Scotland to make a mistake. But that's a risky defensive strategy, especially when you haven't been disciplined, because if you give away penalty advantage, then the team will just keep coming and coming, and that's what happened. And they took the one opportunity that they had there, and they've made the most of it.
Ellen Nelson, she has brought her arrows with her to Cardiff.
Keep that safe. Talk to your tent.
Well, there'll be a very happy Brian Eason there, the Scotland head coach. That was the kick, the bounce, and it is an artificial pitch, of course. If you can get that ball to land well, there's always an opportunity. Nelson then sends it back. Powell waits. Powell just tries to outfox the Scottish defenders.
Turnover is good.
Another Scottish
Turnover's
penalty.
good. Bodies lying on the ball.
That's Wales lying on the ball.
Red bodies lay on the ball. Okay.
This is going to be a real test of Wales' character. They were down against Ireland, but they didn't have so many decisions going against them.
No, they certainly didn't. And they weren't giving us as many penalties away. It's up to 7 now. It really is creeping. We've still got a good 5 minutes before the half-time.
Once again, Scotland in the ascendancy, their own line out.
Perfect, thank
as
you.
they start closing in now on that half-time whistle. Skeldon towards the front. Nelson, Conkle. Quinn's number 8, forcing her way through. Maxwell. Gallagher. Sunshine coming out, shining on Scotland for now. Belisle. She's carried a lot as the Scottish prop.
Advantage.
Sounds like another penalty coming the way of Scotland. Maxwell. Malcolm. Nelson. Soft touches on the ball. Rachel Malcolm, the captain there, once again, just putting her head down, doing the dirty work, but this is Oran debut to Skeldon. Still Skeldon, she scored one, can she get another? Maxwell, there's numbers out there, this should be a straight, she could have passed. Oh, Sarah Bonner, there were women there. Bartlett.
Roll red.
Thompson. Or knock on. Once again, all the momentum with Scotland. Wales can't get a break.
And what a missed opportunity. They should have gone one more pass out. But look at this lovely little offload there. Again, we've seen the winger. Emma Orr is certainly putting her hand up. And of course, Lana Skeldon's going to be on the shoulder of anyone. Such good work rate for a front row forward. That's the offload. That's the miracle pass. Gets her in behind. Stands up fullback Kaylee Powell. Their work rate at the moment is just incredible. But equally, Scotland, they missed an opportunity there to go out wide. They had numbers, they shortened the Welsh defensive line, and they didn't expose it on the outside edge. Wales have been defended for a long time now. They're really starting to feel this. And this is the missed opportunity. Look at that, that's criminal. Not only are there players to the left of your picture there, but they are in space. That ball should have gone.
I don't see it that way, but I watch it.
Shuan Lillicrap seems to be okay there. Few things to pick out that we've seen already in that half. Huge number of tackles being made by Wales, 106 to Scotland's 44, but it's the penalty count that is costing Wales at the moment. Remember, they only conceded 5 last week against Ireland. They've already conceded 8.
And that is what is keeping them penned in their own half. Richard Whiffen said about it earlier in the game, the assistant Welsh coach. It's all about territory. As soon as Wales do get into the Scotland half, they look threatening, but at the moment they're just being held back with not being able to exit out of this area, and there are penalties keeping them in there as well.
Use it 9!
That's moving from Scotland. Referee's not interested. It's Snow to clear on this side, but
you have to stop if you're in front.
well, it wasn't actually Snow with that clearance. It was actually Karen Lake.
Yeah, I think she was feeling the pressure there. Just came off the outside edge of her boots. So not as much distance as we know that she is capable of getting.
6.
Karen Lake winning her 35th cap today. One of the Gloucester Hartpury players.
Been a really good steady partnership between Karen and Hannah John. They're in the centre.
Sack is good! Use it!
Gallagher again. Scotland have just looked very busy whenever they've had the ball. Lots of players making themselves available as different options.
No hands! No hands! Off your
We're back underway then. It's going to be Lisa Thompson. You can see plenty of characters in the crowd here in Cardiff as Lillicrap gathers for Wales. Did Joanne Cunningham, the Wales head coach, get out the hairdryer at half-time? Sure, anyone who's been involved in the Scarlet setup in Wales will probably know if he's got that in his armoury or not. We will have to wait to full-time to find out.
Use it 9! No, stay!
Bevan.
Stop here, stop!
Campbell manages to really work round and Get a couple more blades of grass under her feet. Gallagher, Maxwell, Nelson, Malcolm. Neither side have decided no need to change any personnel, but the benches could be key. But here's Lloyd again. She couldn't get that last pass away to Thompson, who was screaming. Skeldon.
Stay.
Bilal. And straight and still going. Scotland continuing this match in the same vein that they played out the first, and Conkle refuses to be brought down. Malcolm. Bonner. Maxwell decides to give to Nelson. Campbell wants it. Appeals there. Wales really unhappy with decisions there. Thompson still. Skeldon again.
Roll red.
Maxwell pushes out wide. Lloyd, try. A second try for Rona Lloyd. And that's now 3 on the board for Scotland. Wales still looking for answers.
Best possible start there from Scotland. For them, it was all about territory. And again, they managed to just pin Wales back. And this time, when they had that overlap, they were clinical with it and they took it straight away. You could see the speed of ruck that the Scottish team were able to develop. I think Wales potentially, after a bit of a talking at half-time around discipline, decided to stay out of the breakdown area. But if you do that, you must make sure that your first up tackle is effective, and that will help to slow down play. If you're soaking up tackles, you're not competing at the breakdown. Yes, you won't give away an infringement, but you will give real speed of ruck, which is what Scotland had, which led to that try.
Well, whilst Helen Nelson is lining up this kick, we can tell you there is already activity going on the Wales bench. We're expecting changes soon. Can't quite get the turn on that one, so 2 from 3 then for Nelson, and here comes Sinead Harries. Worcester player slots in, and it looks like Natalia John is going to make way. If Wales are going to do this, they're going to need the bench. They're going to need that extra firepower. Look at Harry straight over the top of that. And a penalty straight away. What an impact player.
And that is exactly why Sinead Harries has just been brought on. Not only is she such a threat at the breakdown, but I am telling you, there's no one that will be hurting more on the sideline than that lady there watching Wales go down.
Oh, you can just see that. That's Natalia John making her way off the field.
Thank you.
Well, we haven't seen this in the match. This is territory and possession for Wales and a set piece.
I'll give you a chance.
And a clever turnover there.
I'll give you a chance.
Really good chop tackle initially from Jasmine Joyce. Just put the Scottish player onto her back, which is a perfect position then for Sinead Harries to get over and poach that ball.
Okay, so to both sides, get in immediately or else it'll be free kicked, okay? Thank you. In, please. Thank you.
Wales came from behind to beat Ireland. Can they do it again? That one just over the top, a knock on in the end by Scotland, so Wales still have it. Rachel Malcolm, the Scotland skip there, just desperately trying to make sure
Advantage knock on.
that wasn't quick ball for Wales. Bevan, Phillips. Crab in support. Purse. Through the hands, here comes Jones, out wide in the end to Powell. This is Jazz Joyce. Butchers.
Play, play.
Bevan. Snowsill. Crab.
Back was good for me.
She was lowered down safely, not taken over the horizontal. Jones again, still Jones going. Hannah Jones!
Back force, back!
It's slow ball for Wales.
Advantage.
It's heading in the right direction. It's over.
Ball's been grounded.
2 tries,
you were offside,
and it's
Dana
the
Banks, you
super
against
sub,
offside, okay?
Sinead
Thank you,
Harries.
Dana.
Well, how pivotal were the bench in last round against Ireland?
Clearly
They
seen
were
ball
game
grounded.
changers then, and they're being game changers again. Sinead Harries with that key turnover. That's what led them to get the line out in that perfect attacking position. Lovely building phase play. This great little break there from Hannah Jones.
What's the time and the symbol, please?
So deceiving, but incredibly strong. And what's crucial to that is the amount of bodies over that ruck, making sure they got there, protected the ball. And a lovely diving in round the edge there from Sinead Harries.
Worth remembering that Wales are doing this with 14 women on the pitch at the moment.
Can you hear me, Grace?
Still have Karen Lake in the bin at the moment. They're making changes, but we will talk you through that once Ciara Bevan has taken this kick. Wales back in the game in Cardiff. It's within 1 try, and it is looking like a bright horizon because Karen Lake is back on. 15 women on the field. They're also making changes. Caris Phillips has gone off, Kelsey Jones is on, and also a change at scrum half there for Scotland. Katie Mattinson is coming on. Katie Mattinson has played a little bit of rugby for England, but has used World Rugby's birthright amendment and is now winning her 2nd cap for Scotland.
Use it, 9! Stay back from the 9 and stop. Okay.
Bevan's got some good distance on that box kick. Campbell just carefully make sure that goes backwards. Joyce read it well. Madison gives it to Conkle. Nelson.
Blue, stop!
Not interested in playing inside of their own half, Scotland. Powell. Still Powell. He runs into the force that is Lana Skeldon. Harries. Working well with the Wales captain.
Counter ruck is good.
Real contest there by Scotland. Peirce. Snowsill. Butchers. Does well not to get dragged too close to the touchline. Crab. Calendar.
Stop! 3!
Well, this one's going to be a chase down this near side. Campbell can't take. It's loose on the floor. It's advantage to Wales.
No advantage. Just a knock on. Accidentally into the own pair.
You feel the momentum is shifting.
Yeah, you really can, can't you? And just from the confidence of that little tip-on pass earlier from Gren Crabb, just getting that forward momentum. The subtleties of that extra little pass can just help build a team into the game, get them some badly needed go forward. I'm loving that box kick as well from Ciara Bevan, loads of height. It allowed the Welsh team to get up and put pressure on the catcher, and that's what forced the error.
It's going to be a fascinating last 30 minutes with the narrative, of course, that a large number of the Welsh players on the field are either professional or semi-professional now, while of course the Scottish women, they're not at all professional. They have something that the SRU call individual support packages, so they're not paid to play, they do get expenses.
Bind! Set!
Are those sniffs of professionalism going to be what gets Wales through this fixture?
Music 9!
Lake, Joyce, Harries. She loves the contact. Lillicrap working with Callender.
Regathered, release!
Purse. Snowsill, great take, can't get that last pass away, the telepathy fails.
Unless it's anything more than a knock-on of a tackle, please.
Still advantage then to Wales for a knock-on. A little bit static there from Wales. I think they were waiting for a whistle and didn't get one.
Very static, and actually in behind, the wingers are completely high, so there's loads of space in the corners.
Unable to be taken, here comes Nelson. Can't get the kick away.
Knock-on. No advantage. Knock-on.
Well, they're going to come back then for the knock-on. Interesting to see who is going to come on next from both sides. It doesn't look like we're going to have changes just at the moment.
Yeah, and then there was 2 knock-ons here, and so just come here.
Lovely hands there initially from Eleanor Snowsill. And you can just see an arm of Lana Skeldon there getting in between the passing channel.
Plenty on the line in this fixture. If Wales win, they would go above Scotland in the world rankings. But because Ireland lost earlier today, that's also significant because Scotland could go up to 8th.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Big scrum from Wales.
Big moment there as well for Kelsey Jones coming on in replace of Karis Phillips. You know a true testament's going to be that first line out, that first scrum. And the first scrum's a big tick in the box for Kelsey Jones.
Good. Bind and collapse.
There you go, Karis Phillips watching on now. Kelsey Jones now in the hooking hot seat.
I gave you your mark, okay? So I need you to say, I'll manage them, but you stay where you were. Okay? Thank you.
24th cap today for Kelsey Jones as Scotland snaffle the ball. Gallagher. Another penalty for Wales, and Scotland will have to be careful because everything we saw in the first half is starting to stack up against them now.
Yeah, it's literally like a role reversal, isn't it? I mean, Scotland still are having the majority of possession in this second half, but we've seen a lot more territory for Wales. Scotland starting to feel that pressure. Penalties coming in, and it just allows Wales to pin them back. Not as much distance on that as Eleanor Snowsill would have liked, but still pressure back onto Scotland now.
Thank you. Okay, girls. All in.
A lot more smiles on those Welsh faces than perhaps in the first half.
All in.
How much more could they have to shout about?
More. Stay.
Taken quickly by Harries. Penalty then, offside from Wales.
My hands were up.
Scotland
You
get the
broke line.
opportunity.
You have to wait.
Yeah, so players
My
have to be
hands were
back
up to
10
clearly break
when
that
a
line.
line
You have
out
to wait till my hands come down offside.
is happening. So as Joy Neville is saying there, you have to stay back 10 until my arms drop. And unfortunately,
Number
Kira
9.
Bevan just creeped up before the hands were dropped. So that's offside.
Lisa Thompson then
Yeah,
kicks
so-
to the near side. It's a real advantage that Scotland have, is that many different options they have actually at kicking.
Yeah, you good?
That was the
Okay,
offside
take a
from the
step,
line
please.
out.
Take a step, please.
Have you got the line now? Have you got the line?
Same thing, come in. Wait!
Skeldon short at the front, quick. Oh, Nelson can't take. She had Bevan flying right up into her eye line. And this is getting a bit sloppy from Scotland now.
Really good defensive pressure there, as you mentioned. Ciara Bevan flying up out of that line out.
You happy?
She's going to be wanting to make amends from that earlier infringement. Well, Wales lost a lot of territory from that offside, but she's just made up for it, applying that pressure, getting the ball back for the team.
Long bind, please. Okay. Crouch! Bind! Set! Arm up. Use it, 9!
That's better from Scotland. Wales hold. Got round the back. Jones with the pass to Powell. Now Joyce.
Release.
Harris. She needs to let go of that ball.
Release. Penalty advantage.
It's against the tackler for not letting go of her. Here comes Bevan. She's feeding off the crowd. She needs someone with her. Still Bevan.
No hands. It's underneath your own player.
Lillicrap.
Stay.
Well, the crowd are egging on the home side. The weight there from Hale. Support on her shoulder from Pers, who's there to cover.
Set.
Butchers.
Don't make contact.
Jones.
Release.
Holding their head so far, Wales, but the Scottish defensive line needs to keep hold. There's advantage. Still a Welsh penalty.
Lovely little break there from Ciara Bevan, just catching the defensive line sleeping, because there were plenty of Scottish bodies there, but somehow Ciara Bevan managed to slice through. But credit to the Scottish defence. When Ciara Bevan did go to ground, they did really well at slowing down that ruck, allowing the rest of the team to get back in line,
You go into that space.
to have formation for their defence. Wales just getting a little bit flat on that attack then. See an opportunity here again. Just slices through that defensive line. Like I say, plenty of bodies there, but this is where the work is really done. Just managing to slow down that ruck. Oh, such a shame there couldn't have been another Welsh player just on her shoulder. A little lift there, and it could have been try time for Wales. But how well does Shauna Campbell do? Just slowing down that ruck really took the pace out of that attack.
Water off, please. Meters.
Well, a pretty long pause from both sides, but it was a Welsh penalty. And again, it's within kicking range. Zero interest.
Pardon? Wait, Nikki, wait.
Well, Wales are wrestling their way back into this fixture.
You're on the line, okay?
We've seen them score tries like this in the past.
Time on. Stay.
Can they repeat the trick? Short to the front.
Maul.
They go round the corner to Lillicrap. Scotland, wonderful defence.
Red ball. Strip before touch, red ball. Okay?
They've got to do it again, though.
Finish your mark.
Yep, and his ball back to Wales there. Not quite sure that peel round the front was the best option. It was well defended, well marked.
Ladies, in you come.
Lost a heart bruise. Kelsey Jones with the throw.
Maul!
That's what we were expecting the first time. And it's off. Still going. Scotland have got to get some bodies to slow this.
Stay bound.
Still moving.
Tackle, roll.
It was a maul, it went down to the floor, taken in by Wales. Scotland get the scrum.
Excellent
Same
defence
odd.
there from Scotland. Really managed to fracture up the maul. So basically, the more players you can get out of that situation, the less power
Ladies, there's a
Wales
lot
are going to
of,
have.
talking
They
to me in the
fractured it
middle
off,
of
and you
lineup.
could just see that the ball carrier was on her own for a split second. Gone to the ground, turnover to Scotland.
Well, a change here. Kira Bevan is making her way off for Wales. On in her place is Fionn Lewis. And I have promised I'll get this story in, so bear with. There is a person in the crowd today. His name is Scotty Miller. He's on his home stag do. He's also a cattle farmer. Apparently he was up at 3:30 a.m. and a calf was born. Every single one of the cows in his farm starts with an F. And in her honour, it has been named Fionn Lewis.
Crouch!
Have I absolutely silenced you there, Phil?
I just don't know what to add to that.
I'd love to know what Fionn Lewis thinks of it, to be honest. What a way to spend your stag do as well. Must be tired. Well, this scrum has taken a while,
If you go to my
so
left and I'll move out of your way.
luckily all of my cattle
Make sure
farming
it's-
knowledge has come in
See,
handy.
okay. Straight in, please. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Big shove from Wales. Oh my goodness, look at that! Try! Or is it a penalty? I think Shuan is almost appealing. No, it's not a try. It was a big blast of the whistle. It is a penalty. I thought they were almost going to appeal for a penalty try then.
Incredibly dominant scrum here. Potentially Jay Conkle just coming out of the back a little bit too quick, so eager to get that ball out, but as soon as the 8 releases, she takes away all her power with her, so it just makes that scrum even more unstable. Wales went for that absolute jugular then, but staying connected is key when a scrum breaks up like that, being able to stay connected so you can drive fully past it. Brilliant position for Wales now.
Need to stay along bind.
Change there for Wales. Alex Callender going off. Bethan Lewis coming on.
Yeah, just give me, if you just give me 1 second. Sorry. Crouch!
There's last week's player of the match there, Alicia Butchers.
Set!
19 carries she had last week against Ireland. It's gone down on the near side. Wales are appealing.
Far
So is Scotland.
side, both down.
Rachel Malcolm knows exactly what she's doing there.
Yeah, standard play, I think. Both sides will always appeal, especially in such a pivotal area like this, so close to the try line. Just looking on the props and on the near side here. Now,
It's right here, okay?
I would actually say that Leah Bartlett's arm goes down first there. Her elbow definitely makes contact first, which would suggest that she's given way. Still will go for scrum reset.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Seen enough. It's a penalty for Wales. Sinead Harris thought about taking that quickly, and here's a warning for Scotland.
So we've got 2 penalties and a free kick against your loose head, okay, for bind and collapse. We have non-contest putting away in the scrum here, and then we have your prop on my side blocking, okay? So this is a scrum warning now.
Can I have 2 seconds?
Yes, you can.
Same again.
Is there a card if they infringe again in the show?
Do you mind if I ask?
Well, very clear there from
Just keep showing me good pictures.
Lily Crap there as well, just saying if they do it again, it is a card. Joy Neville has said yes.
Here's a mark.
Scotland, meanwhile, they're still in a huddle behind the line,
Keep showing me
slowing
that.
this down as much as possible.
Straight in, yeah.
But Wales won't mind that at all. Shuan Lillicrap very clever, just saying if this happens again, will we see a card? Consequently, they're not going to tap and go or go for the line out. They're going to go for the scrum. They're going to see if they can force that penalty and potentially a card.
Still 17.5 minutes of this fixture to play. It really was all about Scotland in the first half. They came out firing in the second, but Wales, they are fighting back. That scrum, it's a penalty again. Someone's going to the bin.
Yep. Collapsing. In under pressure into floor.
And there you go, that's clever management by captain, the Welsh captain, Siwan Lillicrowd. Like I say, just having a little check with the referee. Will there be another card if there's an infringement? And then making that decision to go for the scrum. Now Wales very much have the momentum, they have the territory, and they have the edge on one player.
Leah Bartlett then goes to the bin.
Scrums, show me the dominance through and not up.
Well, they've obviously got to make changes here, Scotland, if Wales go for the scrum. So it's not going to happen yet because Wales have opted to go for the line out. So Scotland reduced to 14 now for the next 10 minutes.
In, please. More.
This is looking strong from the Welsh. Kelsey Jones has it, it's moving, still got legs, Jones, try! The Arms Park is lit up as Wales level with a conversion to come.
Clever, clever play by Wales. Totally in acknowledgement of the player down. They've gone for that driving maul. They could have gone for the scrum and forced Scotland to have to reset to front to full front row, but equally they know that Scotland are going to be down a big player in the defence of that maul, so they went for it. And they certainly got lots of momentum moving forward there. Kelsey Jones didn't have to change the ball receiver, stays with her the entire time. Plenty of momentum, easy drive over for her.
Eleanor Snowsill then with the first opportunity for Wales to go ahead in the fixture. Still level for now. 3 tries apiece. Of course, a fourth for either side means at least a bonus point. But it looks like this one could be going to the wire.
It's always been close between these two teams. Only last year, Scotland were the victors, 27-20. But it was very much back and forth in that game. And we're seeing very similar, but you just feel like Wales are starting to build in this. But equally, don't rule Scotland out. They'll be very aware. If they just get down into the Welsh half, if they can pin them down, they'll force some penalties, they can get some points from there.
You can see there was a change there for Scotland. Sarah Bonner is off. Louise McMillan is on. McMillan, a player, she can play in the second row, she can play in the back row. She's very handy. Campbell, Thompson.
Stop.
Powell. Oh, she's playing to the crowd on that far side.
Step. Good.
Lewis. Another Lewis. There's Bethan Lewis and Fionn Lewis on the field at the moment for Wales. Crossfield to Joyce, what a take! It was actually Neumann that took it. Lisa Neumann, the Gloucester Hartbury wing. She was on her own though. Loose ball on the far side. Last pass can't get away. But what a take by Neumann.
Incredible take by Lisa Neumann, and you just wonder how could she not have made more of that. It's a lovely kick here, crossfield from Eleanor Snowsill, loads of space. You would have backed Neumann all day long there. It's a good covered tackle, and again the Scottish backs getting in on that ruck and just slowing the ball down. But absolutely brilliant take. She had to go on full pelt, full pace to be able to get under that ball. She's looking around desperately for the support. But good to see Wales mixing it up now.
Okay, number of changes here. Donna Rose is now on for Wales. She scored a couple of tries off the bench last week against Ireland. Interesting change for Scotland. Remember, they're down to 14 at the moment. They've taken off Rachel Malcolm, and they've brought on Anne Young, who's a front rower.
That's all done. All you've done.
Crouch!
Of course, it was Leah Bartlett who was sent to the bin.
Bind! Set!
So Scotland are packing down with 7, and you can tell from that, but
Early drive before the ball is in. Early drive before the ball is in.
Just Wales a bit too keen there to try and show their dominance. They were very aware that they were going against a scrum that was a player down. Unfortunately, too keen, too quick to make that contact. Free kick to Scotland.
you just saw that double touch there because it was a free kick, and that ball's rolling on this synthetic pitch. Joyce needs to give it for the kick away from Powell.
Okay, hold on.
Strong hands by Thompson. She really is the full package. Harris is going to be warned to release. Gallagher. Mattinson, Nelson, McMillan.
Inside, stop 9, stop 9!
Once again, the touch by Nelson. Oh, great take in the end by Orr flying through. But it's gone forward there by Scotland, and Wales gather.
Advantage knock on.
Lewis to Lewis, then Butchers.
Advantage is over.
Scotland's positioning in the backfield has been pretty impeccable for the entire game.
Right, stop!
Crossfield then. Orr. Still Orr.
Ball's out. Off your feet, Reg!
You saw Fionn Lewis there going in, trying to poach. Young. Only a second cap for Anne Young.
Not on the ball.
The Edinburgh University student.
Thank you, no foul play.
Conkle. This is more like the Scotland we saw earlier on in the match. Wassell. Nelson. Thompson. Almost shoves the ball away to Campbell. Gaffney's there. Has to use a little bit of footwork. And Wales do well to Marshall on the near side.
That was on 10 red, wasn't it?
Yeah, clever by the Welsh backs there, just showing her the outside edge, just tempting her, using that sideline to get her out.
Check to see whether there's foul play. Was it 10? So I checked off that kick. I checked off that kick.
Yeah.
The team, no foul play.
She didn't move it.
No, it was
Fine.
good contest for them.
I think they were just checking a few phases back what happened to Jazz Joyce.
Pardon? Oh yeah.
Referee Joy Neville happy that it was all okay. And a change then as Pearce goes off. Coming on now is Cara Hope. And that's Christine Bilal there receiving a little bit of treatment, and that will be worrying for Scotland because they're starting to run out of props.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think these latter stages of the game are going to be so important. You have to say that Wales have a bit more experience coming off that bench than Scotland do. And like you say, in regards to the professionalism vis the amateur setup of Scotland, Ewan Cunningham, the Welsh coach, has made no qualms about it. He expects those professional athletes in the team to be at their most deadly in that last 20, to show off that extra conditioning that they've been able to get.
Here's your mark right there.
So this is where the Welsh management are going to want Wales to kick on, especially with the Scotland being a player down.
Blue!
Still a few more minutes then on that bin.
Not straight, guys. No fair contest. Yeah. Yeah, we caught it here, not straight. Scrum? Yeah.
Is that PK?
That's it.
Is it PK?
Well, discipline between the two has been particularly interesting in this second half because
Not straight,
there's now
option.
11 penalties for
Girls,
Wales. 8 of them
it's
were
not
from that
straight,
first
option,
40,
scrum or line
while
out.
Scotland's penalty count's flown up to 10.
Girls, give them a chance, please. No, thank you.
There's a
Okay,
bit of frustration
here,
there from Wales.
here's
They
your
want
mark, please.
Scotland basically to get on with it.
Here's your mark.
Scotland not interested, funnily enough.
No, the longer they can stay down in Wales's half, the better for Scotland. Big moment, this one. We haven't really seen much attacking play since that
Right.
early try, the
Watch my arm.
second half, so big moment for Scotland.
Skeldon manages to find a woman. Now
Advantage, side
Conkle.
entry number 20.
Warning there against Beth and Lewis.
Stay.
Penalty advantage
Penalty
to
advantage.
Scotland. Macmillan.
Stay.
Mattinson. Oh, Thompson can't take.
No advantage.
Still a penalty.
Side entry number 20. Number 20. Entry.
Well, just as we start talking about discipline,
Captain.
ill discipline starts creeping back into the Welsh game. Thompson eyes up the corner. Today actually marks Scotland's 100th match in Six Nations history.
That was against
Could
number.
they be about to make
number
a little
20
bit
entry.
more?
Please
This
be
was
careful.
the last line out, with another to come.
Yeah, you can just see Beth and Lewis with the black scrum hat there, comes in from the side, needs to come in around behind the hindmost Welsh player of that contact area.
Eventually taken in the air. Scotland just hold. Still 2 minutes Scotland have got left on this sin bin at the moment. They're playing with 14.
Tag out. Release.
Lillicrap there with the big mitts there on Thompson. Conkle. Scotland not afraid of stringing phases together. Wassel. It's Lillicrap again.
Maul.
That all came and was started by the captain, Lillicrap. Insatiable appetite for defence.
Yep, and alongside her, Sinead Harries as well. Two of the most physical players on this Welsh team, so the perfect ones to have in that situation.
Imagine what it must be like in Wales training and you've been told you've got to run at those two.
I have been there. That's why I tried to play on the wing, so I could just spend my time away from them, desperately trying to run away from them. But Sinead Harries in particular is actually deceivingly fast.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh, that's moving again. It's going to be Welsh ball. The scrum in the second
Number
half
3.
has
Yeah,
been
the contest.
very different.
Number 3.
Well, we've seen plenty
Yeah,
of
we need to
set
stay in that
piece
contest.
today,
Okay. Pardon?
and this time it's going to be a line out.
Yeah, this will be so pleasing for the Welsh management because early doors in this game, Wales weren't giving the best picture, but they managed to shore it up before the end of the first half. But to have at these latter stages now a completely new front row for Wales
Okay.
and performing well,
Yellow card
it's
back
really
on,
good
please.
for the Welsh management.
Well, that is the end of the sin bin
Ladies,
for Scotland.
Straight in. Get
Leah
into the line.
Bartlett straight back in there. Rachel Malcolm coming back onto the field as well. And Young
Maul.
is off.
Stay. Line that over.
It's going to be a big final 5 minutes of this fixture.
Breaks away.
They've never had a draw in the Six Nations so far, these two. I'm sure that's not quite the result Eva would have wanted, particularly with both of them sitting there on 3 tries apiece. Lewis, Lillicrap. They're going to pound away down this near side. Here comes Butchers. She's got gas outsider in Lewis. Here comes Ffion Lewis. Score! Wales are in front for the first time in 75 minutes of this fixture. They have not won back-to-back opening Six Nations matches since 2015. They're on the cusp now.
And what a brilliant opportunity taken there. Player of round 1, Alicia Butcher, showing in her footwork, but it was the support line, that cheat line that we call it, from the scrum half there, Ffion Lewis. Just see it again, a little bit of footstep there from Alicia Butcher. She had players left and right. Brilliant work rate from the Welsh team. Ffion Lewis showing her pace. In 7, she would quite often play out on the wing as well as in at scrum half. She is that pacey.
Snowsill misses, so this is still a 5-point game. I do hope you're sitting comfortably, because this could be a very tense end to the fixture. Scotland, they're rolling the dice, they're bringing on Hannah Smith. It's Emma Raw, who was on debut, who's made her way off. Lillicrap. Wales need to hold on to their ball. Harries. Scotland need the pill.
No, stop! No, stop!
That one's out on the full. A mistake there by Wales. And this is a little chink of light, an opportunity for Scotland. Big line out then for Scotland.
Right, on me.
If they're going to do it, now's a good time. Rachel Markham there was screaming. It's a long one to the back. Well done from Mattinson to let that one bounce before she took it. Gallagher. Popped off again. It was Hannah Smith. Mattinson, Nelson. Everyone on their best behaviour, making sure they don't give away penalties. Wassell. This is strong from Scotland, stringing the phases together. They can't make a mistake. Huge hits going in by the Welsh. Thompson. McMillan.
Take a step. Good.
Thompson to Smith. Popped off again to Thompson.
Release.
Towards this near side is Campbell. They're desperate to try and hold her up.
Stay.
Mattinson, Gaffney. Credit to Scotland, 10 phases, they're getting closer here. Nelson. All right, this is going to be a big decision from our referee.
Attempt to catch that ball, so it's going to be a knock-on only.
Well, there you go, you heard Joy Neville there. We've seen yellow cards given for that before. Was that a big intake of breath there by Siwan Lillicrap?
I think it's a big intake of breath by a lot of Welsh fans there. You know that, it's risky business when you put out a hand like that, especially when it's only one arm reached out.
Time off. 20 seconds.
They are going to go, and look at this. We're not surprised at all. Joy Neville, where she was in front of it.
I thought that she went for a genuine attempt to catch that ball initially, Chris. So I'm at the screen now if you want to show me.
Yeah, we're just looking at the left hand of red number 8.
Okay.
Okay, so our television match official.
Do you see it on the screen
Chris
now, Joy?
I do.
Asmus, first time we've got to hear him.
Okay, so Chris, she puts her hand out, left hand out in first. It's risk or reward. So it's a left hand. What I saw was the right hand swinging around. So that's deliberate. I don't see a clear line break. I'm on penalty only at the moment.
Yes, Joy, just giving you the wide angle.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so they're looking at the wide angle to see if a definite try would
So
have
the wide
been
angle's
scored.
coming now.
Okay, so I'm happy with penalty only. You happy with penalty only?
Penalty only.
Yeah.
The cover was very flat.
I agree.
Well, anyone thinking a
Nice, Chris.
penalty is enough, Scotland are trailing by 5, so they need the try, so they won't want to kick at goal here.
So, captain and captain. So, I thought you were going for a genuine attempt.
Oh, not to.
No, but your left hand was out there. It's risk or reward, so it's a penalty only here.
Okay.
Okay, so be very careful. Are you doing tapping?
Wales already have the bonus point try, and Scotland are going to run this. Conkle.
Stay.
Mattinson. Gallagher. Look at the clock, it's nearly gone. There's the red. Can Wales hold on? Skeldon.
Release.
If Scotland score, they'll still have to get the conversion for the win. Conkle. Safe hands.
No hands, rock. Ball is there.
Nelson goes herself. Mattinson. Malcolm. Support there
No
from
hands,
Wassell, who has
Reg.
to be careful around pre-latching. Smith. Gallagher.
Tackle, release. Back foot.
8 phases from Scotland. They want more. Conkle straight into Rose.
No hands, Reg. No hands.
Has that been stolen? No. Wassell. Wales defending for everything. On the corner comes Gaffney.
Roll, Reg.
Mattinson, she's on her own.
Not on the ball.
2 meters to go. Gaffney.
Release, release.
The warning's there to release the ball. Popped off once again. There's a Welsh player holding that.
Reg. Yeah, I will.
Conkle.
Ball is there.
She can
Hey.
see it. Conkle drops it.
Play on, turnovers.
It's been knocked on by Scotland. Wales need to make it sure. What a fight back. Wales get their first home Six Nations win in 3 years in front of the record crowd. What a performance in front of that Arms Park crowd. Another bonus point win in this Six Nations campaign. They have character. Scotland deserves so much credit, but full time, Wales 24, Scotland 19.